build 135 units. For presentation, for site plan and open space subdivision, we can run some East analysis from critical points in town center benchmark. At this time, we don't believe that we'd be able to see homes in that area, but we'll let our consultants verify.
Further questions from the town council? Couple points through the process. The lower part, which you're proposing, ultimately putting 75 townhomes in, that currently is not zoned for residential. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. The property is currently zoned CG, commercial development, which is townhouse development cannot be permitted. What we propose is a zone change, R12 zone, residential 12, which would allow this type of development under as a special exception.
And then the bulk property component, my understanding is R20 today. Talk a little bit about that and talk about what your rights are, and perhaps Greg, you prefer to do this, but your rights with that piece of property.
Sure. Again, it's an R20. Oh, sorry.
Dan, why don't we didn't want to show this, but since you've asked the question, we obviously, or not obviously, but we do look at alternatives, and we have looked at alternatives for development of both properties. So we brought those plans with us. And for members at home and the audience, sorry we don't have a PowerPoint, so the maps will come better prepared next time.
I'm sure you will.
So the question was, as a right, how could we develop each property? For the Tilcon or the bulk property, as a right, what we call as a right subdivision, we can basically develop the entire property. And this is 87 lots, Dan? 87 lots would take the development all the way up to the Trap Rock Ridge line. And that's an as of right subdivision. Not something we'd like to do or want to do, but it's within our right to do that. In terms of the Marquette property owned by Stanley, it is zoned commercial. The entirety of the property could be developed for commercial buildings. I believe in the past there have been some proposals for commercial development for the entirety of the property, including the 10 acres of open space that we're looking to preserve. So, as Dan points out, also within the zoning regulation for this property that's zoned for, talking about Stanley's property, there's an allowance for buildings to go 5 stories high. So the entirety of the property could be developed for a commercial office building, commercial building that's 5 stories high.
Further comments or questions by our town council? John, is there anything you'd like to add?
Well, only, I think it's important just to note, and
Excuse me, John. Ladies and gentlemen, can I please ask for, if you'd like to have a discussion, to please step into the hall so we can all hear.
I think it's important to note that that the council's input in this would be in the discussion of donation of land at some point. But as far as the nitty-gritty of any zoning and site plan approvals, that is strictly the purview of Plan and Zoning Commission. They happen to be here tonight coincidentally because of the presentation of open space and whatnot. But I want to make it clear that this presentation tonight in no way tries to usurp the important dynamic of planning and zoning. And so people should understand that tonight. This is not an attempt by Toll Brothers, and I'm putting words in your mouth, but I want to make it very clear that this is not an attempt by Toll Brothers to try to circumvent the process that has to be gone through. We have not done a application at this point. I think, and it's fair to say, and they've talked to the mayor, not directly to me about this, that they wanted to at least give a primer on this, because actually, when they move into the process of planning and zoning, there's actually less interface they will have with the council until that process is complete. So this is kind of an appetizer, and then when they get to dinner is with planning and zoning, and then maybe we'll get some dessert at the end of it. But the primary course of the meeting is planning and zoning kind of review. I must be hungry. No, I didn't have any dinner tonight. So I want to make it very clear that this is not part of planning and zoning. This is not anything to do with that. It's somewhat unorthodox to have somebody come tonight, but I think it kind of fits into some of the discussions we were having. So I just,
Absolutely, and I appreciate that, John. We're absolutely not trying to usurp the process or set new precedent. We're honestly here to just
do business,
give out information and have people have a better understanding of what we're proposing and the benefits that will accrue or could accrue to the town of Newington and all its citizens. That's really all we're here for tonight.
Any further questions or comments? Councilor Cohen?
The homes that are proposed, what size, how many bedrooms do you have in mind?
I'm glad you asked. The townhomes will be similar to what we built at Newington Ridge. Mostly 2 bedrooms, some 3 bedrooms. We're also planning a little amenity in the townhouse development, which we did not have at Newington Ridge, a little clubhouse and perhaps a little swimming pool. The bedrooms, the homes for the single-family development on Balm would be 4-bedroom homes. They're traditional 4-bedroom colonial homes. The size would be 2,400 square feet to 2,800 square feet, something like that.
All right. Without getting into too many specifics about actual property development, I want to thank both you gentlemen for coming this evening.
they're going to be on top of each other.
I know you put a lot of thought into this, and also
I don't know who this guy's trying to kid.
their desire
I really don't know.
to see a large
He
portion
must
of
think
the
we're
development
fools.
be set aside for open space. And also Stanley Cohen and the Marquette partners, I know that they also would like to see this go forward with a large. And I think it's important. I think, ultimately this is going to fall a decision with the town planning and zoning and wetlands, but ultimately, I think you've gone out of your way to think outside the box. Of 101 total acres, you're looking at donating nearly half that. There's a lot of positive economic development for the town of Newington, but for recreation and character of town, it preserves the whole ridge line. Those trails, I think, could be a real positive. I just want to thank you for thinking outside the box instead of just coming with a proposal on the bulk piece to put half-acre lots by right up to the edge of the cliff. So, both the gentlemen, thank you for coming here this evening, and this is going to be just an informational point tonight for everyone here.
Well, we appreciate you inviting us. We really do. I think it was productive, and you made a great point, Mr. Mayor, about Stanley, giving up some financial gain to make this work on his property, and also Tilcon, and they both should be recognized for their efforts.
Mr. Mayor, may I make one comment? Mr. Cohen, I would love to have you make a comment, but you're not part of the presentation team, and we don't interact with. You'll have an opportunity to make a comment in public participation, sir. But thank you for your generosity and hard work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So with that, we're going to move to our last new business.